2025.
Yeah, we haven't talked to you guys in a while.
I know, it's been a while.
If anyone's been keeping up, I don't know.
I'm sure I've heard lots of people saying that they're just pining for the latest episode.
Like all over the internet.
All over the internet. It was on CBS Morning
Oh,
News.
jeez.
Everybody is pining.
Wow. You sure it wasn't like the Kelsey podcast?
The New Heights.
Yeah, well, she has one too now, don't she?
Kylie Kelsey?
Yeah, that might have been when you were.
I've started listening to that one. Yeah.
Well, I think he's got some late night show on ESPN now with her on it.
Oh, really?
I seen a picture. I don't know. I forgot to look into it. But yeah, but we took a little hiatus for the holidays. I don't think we planned on it. It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
So things got busy around Thanksgiving, and then it was like middle of December, and like, well, we'll just finish out the year.
So yeah, I mean, last year we released, we started in October, November of 2023, and then through
23, yeah, 23.
Yeah, and then through November of 24, we released 29 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty good for our first year, say. Season 1. We'll call this season 2. We'll kick it off. Yeah, every year we'll do a new season.
All right.
So that was pretty good for our first hurrah into podcasting.
Yeah, and I mean, we release like every other week. Sometimes we fall short of that, but so 29 is quite a bit.
Yeah.
So,
well, I will say that a lot of people that I've talked to who listen to the podcast, we always got a lot of good feedback. One thing that's consistent is people really like to hear your message and hear, the experience that you've had through your life and your journey. So that's something that really resonates with people and they really enjoy. And hearing a man be open and vulnerable in that way is inspiring.
I found my A lead on CD. I was going to have you upload that as one of our episodes, but we just never got around to that.
Yeah.
Because the 30th of November was 22 years sober. Usually I put it on Facebook, and I don't know. I just didn't feel like doing that this year.
Yeah.
Like, something different, every year I post and blah, blah, blah. So I would do something different this year.
Yeah. Do you feel differently about it?
About
your sobriety?
No, I mean, I feel like it would be nice to get back into like the spirituality in the rooms, but honestly, and this sounds bad, and it's not like a knock against 12-step programs, but I just don't know if I want to deal with all the drama in there either.
Yeah.
And I mean, one, life is busy, so if I was gonna I would be gone in the evenings or whatever. So you might not like that as much either, but there's things I miss about it. But then there's other things too. It's like some things started to change when I stopped going, and I'm kind of glad that I fell off when I did. But there's people that I've met that are sober, like the one guy at the dog park, and we talk AA stuff and sobriety, and that's always really nice to have. So I don't know, I mean, am I glad I'm still sober? Yeah, I'm glad, and I'm glad for the tools that I learned, and I guess if I ever feel like I need to reconnect or go down that path again and dive back into the rooms, I can. But there's probably some tune-up needed on my spirituality.
Yeah.
But there's other avenues I can take for that as well.
That was going to be my next question. Do you miss, and it could be both, do you miss the spirituality of the rooms, or do you miss connecting with other people on that level, connecting with yourself and others on that level?
Well, I think I miss helping people the most, and being like useful. It's really easy to learn the program and become very knowledgeable, and you start teaching the stuff that you were taught or that you learn, and then you start getting everyone's patting you on the back and telling you how great you are. But then it's very easy in the rooms, the 12-step rooms, for it to all be like verbal. Like you know the words, you know the knowledge, but it's really not, you're really not practicing it. You know what I mean? So that's something too that's kind of like, it's very easy to let your ego get big in there, and that's dangerous because that's, you know, one of the things that's going to make you drink again. But I don't know how many times I've seen the wisest people in AA, and they were very knowledgeable and helped a lot of people, and then they ended up drinking again. And who knows why, but maybe their ego got too big as a result of all the praise they got. So yeah, I mean, I do miss like being of service and helping people, but you know, you can do that. I could do that in other ways too. So it's not just about doing it. And really, I mean, doing it in AA is important, but it's not, you're only helping a select group of people doing it. You know, the whole point is to do it in society as well. But
is that maybe one of your intentions for this year, is to open yourself up to that type of service or connection? Not that you have to, but not that you, like, I'm not, it's not like a resolution or a goal or something, but would you like to invite that feeling in?
Yeah, I mean, that's something to think about too, especially as you get older, like me, you know, I mean, I don't like hang out with people a lot or do, and that's a way to like connect with other people. So that, is it an intention? Probably not. Should it be? Yes. And that's something that maybe I should start like thinking about, you know, if I'm sitting around bored, like, oh, I don't have anything to do, or like in the evening or something, and it's the same old thing every evening. Maybe I could look into getting involved with something community related.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure there's tons of stuff out there. And that's the thing about this podcast. I would have never have thought about that. And now it's like, oh, that might not be a bad idea. But everything is so busy anymore. So, yeah.
Well, it all comes down to priorities, right? So,
well, yeah, I'll have to keep an eye out and see what's out there. Like, you know, I know like my parents, they've always been active in the clubs, like the Elks and the Moose, like, and you know, is it a bar? Yes, but they also do stuff for the community. But me, I probably would never get involved in that, but that even those places, people can be of service through those clubs.
Right.
So
yeah,
I just have to keep an eye out on like what's out there that, you know, to get involved to help the community.
Yeah, and I didn't know that about the clubs until I met your parents. And I learned how much they do for the community.
Yeah.
Whether it's, you know, helping somebody get a seeing eye dog or a therapy dog, or helping youth sports teams.
Well, they have scholarships, and they were the ones that organized the hoop shoot, like back in, I don't know if they still do that. It was like free throws.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
The kids, yeah, they progress like, and then I don't know if they win a scholarship for that or money or what, but yeah.
You know, one of my intentions, you're talking about that, one of my intentions for this year is to prioritize friendship, community, and like celebration. I'm also a homebody, so I like to work. I like what I do. I like to work in general, but I like to be home. You know, that feels good to me. But I feel like I want to have more of like fun.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess maybe like
jumping around and dancing.
Fun. Wow. So you can take your girlfriends and
yeah, we're gonna go party. If you want to go party and dance, DM me.
Shake your butt.
I don't know if I should say that. You know, thinking about, you know, the ways that I guess I'm probably feeling a little nostalgic for some of the unstructured play that we had growing up.
Yeah.
When my aunt, my uncle, and us, our families all got together, and the kids were just like playing and running around, and the parents were laughing and playing cards, or, you know, doing stuff like that. We don't do a lot of that just because, and I don't think that a lot of people do either. I mean, we're just so busy in our own individual lives, you know, units. And I don't know. feel like it'd be fun to start, hanging out with our friends a little bit more.
Well, yeah, I mean, even around the holiday season, I got to thinking about as when we were older, like high school, middle school, high school, like on New Year's Eve, we would always go to like my parents' friend's house who would always have this big New Year's Eve party. And I'm kind of like a lone wolf, maybe more isolated or whatever, where I don't really like, I'm not the type that has to be out all the time or hanging around. But yeah, it would be nice to get together like on a weekend and go to dinner with another couple. Or we got a couple in the neighborhood and they're Kyle and their son are playing all the time. Maybe have all of them over one night. Do something different, like rather than. I mean, we enjoy what being home and like
Yes, we like each other a lot. That's
yeah,
not what we're saying.
but it doesn't hurt to mix it up and experience a different energy, I
Yeah.
guess, because it is different when you have people around and you're talking and doing stuff. So yeah, that might be something that we need to kind of try to do. So
We had fun playing euchre a couple weeks ago
yeah,
with our friends.
that was a good time.
Yeah, that just kind of pulled me out of a little bit of I don't want to say monotony. I don't want to say like just kind of routine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I wouldn't say that I felt bored, but when I or had been feeling bored, but going out and doing that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it mixes it up and it can. I mean, when you do the same thing every night, it does start to like. Then that's not as exciting anymore. You don't look forward to that as much anymore. So it is nice to mix it up. But,
I mean, because I could just be at home all
well,
the
yeah. I
time.
mean, I like before I met you, it was the same routine for me every night, which was, I mean, game every night, and
Yeah.
like. But yeah, when you brought that up, I was kind of thinking like, well, I know what I like to do for fun, like a game or this year I was big towards the end of the year. I was big into going through like baseball cards and nerdy geeky stuff. But it's like you don't really ever seem to have like a hobby that you like to do. I mean, how you got old jewelry. We got two Tupperware things full of. So I'm sure you used to like to put jewelry together. But yeah, maybe for you is trying to get back to something like that, like a hobby or something. I mean, you work a lot. That's all you do is work. So trying to find something else in there that can make you feel different.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and I use that term unstructured play, and that's not my term. Like one of my clients, I was talking to her about the new year, what are we wanting to do? And I was telling her kind of my thoughts, and she said, "So it sounds like you just want some unstructured play." I'm like, "Oh, that's a great way to say it." So, yeah, just a little more playing and shaking my butt at Steffens or something. I don't know.
Steffens. Well, I guess. Yeah. Yeah.
Who
Go
knows?
shake your butt at Steffens.
Go shake my butt at Steffens. So yeah, well, so just thinking about 2024, does anything stand out to you in 2024 that was special, interesting, terrible?
Well, I mean, 2024 started out rough for me, like
Yeah.
with the whatever it was after the surgery and the like anxiety, panic attacks, depression, all that really started in November and then and it was still kind of rough and different. I made another change of antidepressant. I feel like this one has really been so much better, and so I feel like the last, I don't know, maybe that was in August, I feel like I've really been able to handle things better.
Yeah.
Like situations being things that would normally like overwhelm me and stress me out, I've been able to handle those things better. So it's not just the medicine. I think the medicine has probably helped, but so it's been nice to see like how it started and how it was dark and just kind of scary, and now how I feel like really in control of things as far as like my feelings and emotions and all that.
Yeah.
So that's been nice to see that turnaround. I mean, there was a lot of stuff, all the Reds games and seeing all of Kyle's games, and I'm sure there's a bunch of other stuff in there
We went to some concerts.
Yeah, some good concerts. Went to Louisville.
Heart was such a good concert.
Yeah, it was.
That
And
was good.
Opeth was really good. I would like to see them again. Hanging out with Butters. Yeah, 2024 is pretty good. It started off rough, but it's been good. Hey.
You hear Butters? He's saying hello, everybody. He's saying hello. He just got done eating his bone and he came down.
So what about you though? I mean, you started a new business. With 2024, what do you think of?
So 2024 has been an emotional year for me, I will say. Ups and downs. And really, it was a year that, and it's continuing into the new year. It's a year that I felt very proud of myself and terrified all at the same time. It was a growth year for me in a few different ways. But I remember starting out in 2024 ready to ask for help, which is, hard for a lot of us. But I reached out and I said, okay, I'm looking for a marketing intern. But if you're interested, let me know. Well, that's how I met Amy, who is our intuitive reader and meditation lead at the center.
Yeah.
And she reached out and said, yeah, I'd like to help you. So she and I worked together for the beginning of 2024. And, she was just helping me figure out some social media stuff. She was giving me advice on that. I found out that I had to move, that my lease was going to be revoked because the Union County wanted to take the building back over, which is fine. So once I found that out, it was just immediate, like, hey, let's start the center, like in my brain and in my entire body, really. And so I started talking to her and started thinking about other practitioners that might be interested. And she helped me get a list together of practitioners that might be interested in using the center for their modalities. And it was just nice because I opened myself up in a different way, asking for help, met her. That's become a nice relationship, friendship, partnership. So that's been nice. I took that chance. I opened myself up. I found this place that we're in now, and it's a beautiful center. It feels so nice. Everybody that comes in, it's just feels so wonderful in this space. It's really calming and feels like a nice sense of community, and a lot of wonderful things happen in that space. So that was a whole process to get that center. It was an emotional roller coaster with zoning. First it was, did the previous tenants want to leave? They said they did. Now they don't. Then other people I knew were looking at the space as well. Then it was like, am I going to get it? Am I not going to get it? And then there were zoning issues. So I had to go back and forth with the city on a couple things. And so finally, it went down to the wire. I moved in on the 16th of May, and I had to be out of my other space on May 31st.
Yeah.
So it was kind of close. Then we've learned a lot with the center. It's still a startup, so everything that comes with a startup, fluctuations and everything from marketing to capital to classes to just figuring out what's working and what our community is looking for. That's all happening at once.
Well, yeah, it's the beginning process, or seeking help is roller coaster, and then making the decision to rent this place out, and that was a roller coaster ride, and now actually doing it is a roller coaster ride.
Yeah.
Because it is, I mean, any kind of new business is going to be hard to get grounded.
Yeah.
So.
But I will say, it still feels right. It still feels good. I still get really good feedback from the people that come into the center. So I feel like it's challenging me in new and different ways. Another thing that I started doing was learning to read Akashic records. That's been a fun and interesting journey into that. So
yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, just continuing to, develop spiritually just for myself. if nothing else, So is it a service I might, offer in the future? Maybe not. I don't know, but it's been something that's been enjoyable for me. I feel like there's been some healing of some, I'm going to say, dynamics in my life. I feel like I've gotten to the other side of these dynamics really in the last couple months.
Yeah.
Now time will tell if I actually have, but Butters. Okay, honey. Sorry. So time will tell on whether or not I've evolved in some way, but I feel like I have some different perspectives.
Well, how do you know? If you feel like you've handled some baggage or old trauma or whatever it is, like how do you, if you came to terms with that and you feel like you've gotten closure on it, or it's healing, like what are the signs that it is? Is it your demeanor? Is it how you handle everyday stuff at life? Is it how you feel every day? Do you think that is the main result of like taking care of that stuff? Do you think it's just how you act in your everyday life? You don't feel like something holding you down anymore? Or...
I would say yeah, a little bit of everything that you said, really. I feel like I've just kind of, I would say I feel lighter in some ways. Yeah. That's probably the best way to describe it. I feel lighter in some ways. And when I think about some of these dynamics, I just don't care as much.
Yeah.
There's not such an attachment.
Well, and there might be more acceptance.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah. And, we'll see.
Yeah.
Too, if that continues. So, a lot of times when there are things like that, then you have to kind of come back to terms with things over and over again.
Well, yeah, sometimes it kind of, I guess, sometimes wounds can reopen. But so it'll be interesting to see how that progresses. We might need to wrap this up because we got a stir crazy dog. But
we do.
I guess the main thing was we need to get back into podcasting. So
what are you looking forward to for 2025?
Yeah, it's like, this is like you asking me what I want on the click list. I don't know.
Oh my gosh, that is so
And
true.
you always ask me when I wake up or I'm getting ready to go to bed. It's like, I don't have time to make a grocery list. I don't care. Like, but no, I mean, I don't know. I think I just want to keep like how I'm handling things. I want that to continue to be like it is. The family dynamic and all that. I think we've been living together for 3 years now, and it's been good. I feel like I want to continue to figure that out too. Like
that's on my intention list too.
Is it?
Yeah.
Which we do a good job, but it's different. Like there's also family chemistry, so maybe working on some of that.
Yeah, that is interesting. That's on my list too. Well, I guess we will be back next time.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll do one next week. This was kind of like a different. Usually we do it during my long day of stretch of days off. But yeah, we got a dog here that wants to chew on stuff. So
right.
It's nice to be back and
it is
continuing to do this throughout the year.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Yay, 2025.
Have a good one.